Hello. What the fuck? That was so awkward. It's seriously been such a long time since I've made a makeup tutorial. I don't know why, but as of lately, I've been kind of wanting to do it again. But first, hi, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joanna, and shit, truthfully, I don't even know where the direction of my YouTube channel is going. I'm not really doing well advocating for myself here. Let's just say I do a lot of lifestyle content. If you love fashion, beauty, home decor, vlogs, then you're gonna want to subscribe to my channel. I know y'all seen a ton of natural, everyday makeup tutorials, but if you keep watching, I hope you learned a few new tips and tricks from this video, like how to stop your foundation from moving around your nose, things like that, you know what I mean? So if you want to know how to do that natural skin but better, healthy, glowy makeup look, then keep on watching. I'm starting off with a little skin prep. I want it to look a bit glowy underneath the makeup. Not gonna lie, I just started using this, but I've been loving it. It is the SAEI. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is their glowy super gel in the shade Starglow. There are a lot of products that do the same effect, which gives like a very luminous glow to the skin. But what I really like about this one is how lightweight it feels. It feels like a really nice light moisturizer. That's one of the problems that I have with other kind of glowy luminous base products, is that they feel kind of heavy. But look at that, it gives my skin such a beautiful natural glow. There are days when I just wear this by itself. Let me tell you, the past few years I have not been a primer girly. I just feel like sometimes it doesn't really do anything for my makeup, but I absolutely love this primer from Glowish by Huda Beauty. It's their Blur Jam silicone-free smoothing primer. Look at that, I'm going through this. What got me really interested in trying this was the fact that it said silicone-free. I feel like a lot of primers with the silicone in it makes my pores a lot larger. That's the reason why I stopped being a primer girly. But this one is different. It doesn't feel like my pores are getting larger. I like to just concentrate it on the areas where my pores are enlarged. It just really smooths down that area very nicely. Gotta get up under here. As the primer is setting into my skin, the next thing I like to do are my brows. I've been using this new brow gel from BYELLIE. I discovered this brand on TikTok and it's so freaking good. So it has like a hole in the middle of the gel, but basically what you do is like a clean spoolie and just kind of swirl it in there so you could get some of the product on. Personally, this is by far the best brow gel I've ever used. Let me actually zoom y'all in. I used to be very into the laminated brows, but I started doing feathery brows, but now I kind of do a mixture of the both. What I like to do is lightly brush out the front and then apply most of that gel at the end. So this is where the more laminated part comes in, and I kind of press it down at the ends. You see how quick this was to brush through my brows, and it's actually staying down. And I like to kind of just comb down the sides a little to give it a more clean shape. What I like to use to fill in my brows is a brow pen. This one from Glossier, the Brow Flake, is my absolute favorite. Ride or die, I always repurchase this all the time. But before I go in with this, I'm actually going to let this brow gel set, because if you do the brow gel and then you go over it with a pencil or a pen, it's not really going to work so well. So what you want to do is just let it dry down and then go over with a brow product. I'm just gonna go in and do my lashes. If there's something you really want to invest in, it's a good as eyelash curler. I honestly really didn't think much about an eyelash curler because I felt like they were essentially all the same until I decided to try the SHISEDO Eyelash Curler. This one is genuinely so good. It keeps my lashes curled all day. I like to do little squeezes, boop, 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 and kind of just like bring it up towards the tip and go over it a few times. So I've been using this mascara for the past year and a half. I've been repurchasing it over and over again. It's the HEROINE Makeup Long and Curl Mascara. Super waterproof. So when I tell you your lashes are gonna stay like this all day, they're going to stay like this all day. I know I don't have amazingly long lashes, natural lashes already, but this is still a huge difference for me. Truthfully, I used to be very insecure about my lashes. I would always wear false lashes all the time. I kind of forced myself to stop wearing false lashes so that I can feel more comfortable with what I already have. And these two products really they just do it. Did my lashes and now my brows are definitely dried down. I wanted to make it look as natural as possible. I've been learning to only fill in the areas that are very sparse so that I don't go overboard and it doesn't look very overwhelming, especially since I only have mascara on. So it's a little empty here and I just lightly flick. Where I usually fill it in is the ends where I give myself an actual tail. You should get something a little like this. Obviously, brows are such a personal thing, so definitely just keep experimenting, keep practicing until you find something that you really like. Time for the rest of the face. So this next step is a personal preference. I feel like it's not necessarily necessary, but I like doing this because it just brightens under my eyes, and it definitely leans more towards a natural effect for the skin. So I just really love this. This is the MILANI Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint in the shade 120 Peach. I'm gonna apply with my fingers. On my no makeup days, I love using just this by itself, no concealer. It looks so natural. It sits really beautifully under the skin. I don't find it creasing under my eyes at all, but this definitely helps with the dark under eyes that I have going on currently. When I was teaching my sister this very natural everyday makeup routine, she was telling me about how she wanted to just cover everything, so she always used a full coverage foundation. I responded saying that this routine that I'm going to show her isn't necessarily about covering everything you feel like is an imperfection. This routine is about making your skin look like skin, but better. You want your skin to still feel like it's breathing. I still want to look like me and feel like me. So I told her no more full coverage foundation, especially for every day, and go for something that's a light to medium. So the one I absolutely love and recommend is the PATRICKTA cream foundation. I'm using the shade light medium 2. Comes with the cream foundation and a setting powder. I'm using this Sephora Pro foundation brush number 56. Just taking some on my brush. I'm gonna start lightly buffing this into my skin. So my main goal is to not only give it a bit of coverage, but to give color to my face, to make it match with my neck. This foundation literally gives you skin, but better. I like to go in very lightly on my forehead. I don't really put that much because I feel like it doesn't really need that much. Without adding any extra foundation, I like to just sweep whatever's left on my nose. My pores are the largest around my nose area, and it gets a bit oily, and foundation is always moving around in that area. I've learned to just put a light ass coat of foundation on the nose. Hopefully you guys can see the difference here. If you feel like you do want to have more coverage, you could just do some spot treatments where you only apply that extra layer on areas you feel are problematic. Okay, this is honestly my #1 foundation. I love how it settles into the skin after like 10-20 minutes or so. I just feel like it looks even better once it's settled. Sometimes I low-key apply whatever is left on the brush over my eyes to kind of get rid of the redness. I know that the next step is usually concealer, but if I'm using more cream products, I like to go in with a cream bronzer first. This is a bronzer slash contouring stick from EMCOSMETICS in the shade Terra. I feel like EMCOSMETICS is very underrated. It's pigmented and so easy to blend out. I like to apply on the very high points of my cheekbones because I want my cheekbones to look higher. I wanted to give more of a snatched look. With this product, a little goes a long way. I'm gonna apply a bit on my forehead, just a tiny bit right here near my chin area. Okay, I am softly buffing this in. And I'm using an old ass brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush. I'm holding the brush all the way at the end so that it gives me more of a light hand. Taking this bronzer on my chin and lightly buffing it on my jawline. I like to just emphasize it a little bit more right here. That way my chin kind of gives a more sharp look. This is what I like about this bronzer. You can literally take your time blending this out. It will not dry down until you blend it out. Making sure to really focus on buffing it out where I placed this bronzer. Sometimes I like to sharpen up my contour, you know, just a little bit more to give it a bit more of a lift. So I'll go in with some concealer afterwards. This is my favorite concealer at the moment, the KOSAS Revealer Concealer in 4.5N. Sometimes I'll leave my under eyes just as is with the brightener, but on this occasion I'm gonna add a little bit concealer just to give more coverage and just to brighten it even more. I'm just gonna go in with that much, just like that. I'm adding a teeny bit right here and right here. My personal preference for blending out under the eyes is to use a beauty blender. I like to kind of go down and then up this way when I blend it out to give it that triangular shape. I really like this concealer because it does not feel drying under the eyes whatsoever. It has a very natural finish and it gives like really beautiful coverage. I like to use the foundation brush I was using earlier just to kind of sweep this concealer down. Do you see what a difference this makes? So we're gonna go back and focus on the nose real quick because I know some of y'all are gonna be like, no foundation on the nose, what the fuck? Like I said before, I have a problem with my foundation always moving. So what I personally like to do, this is the technique that I've been using for a while now and it just works for me, is to go in with a powder foundation. So it's gonna give me that even coverage around the nose, while also kind of smoothing out my pores. I honestly just learned to accept the fact that I have large ass pores and sometimes it just can't be covered and it's okay. No one should be up that close to your face anyways. My favorite powder foundation that gives that extra coverage is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, and this is actually the old formula. I haven't finished it, so I'm gonna keep using it. I know they came out with a new formula. I haven't tried it out yet, but like I said, I still got a lot more of this, so I'm gonna just keep using it. So I'm just going to get some of that powder foundation on the sponge and I'm just going to focus right on the sides of my nose. Do you see that coverage? We're gonna just do the same thing to the other side. I'm pressing it in, okay? Make sure you get all up in the crevice. Just like that, your nose looks completely normal with the rest of your makeup. If you want, you can set the rest of your face with this powder. I would recommend using a brush to set your face instead of the sponge because this is a powder foundation, so it's giving you even more coverage. But we're not going for that extra full coverage look. Going for a more natural, lightweight, everyday kind of makeup. Only other place I would use a sponge in without taking any more powder is just lightly dabbing this under the eyes. This is gonna help with the creasing. Taking a fluffy brush, this is actually a blush brush, but I'm using it for powder. This is the Sephora 96 brush. The Sephora Pro collection brushes, they're really good. They're worth the money in my opinion. I'm just gonna lightly dust all over my face. You can see that I'm just patting it in instead of sweeping it. I don't want my foundation moving at all, so a nice soft patting motion will do. So you can leave your contour just as is. You can definitely see it, but I do want to emphasize it just a tiny bit more. I'm using the EMCOSMETICS Corrseltte Sculpting Powder Bronzer in the shade Slip, and I'm just gonna lightly, just very lightly dust this over this area right here. Gonna use a little of that contour powder. I like using this fluffy eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna just lightly contour my nose. I'm not really changing the shape too much, just kind of enhancing it a little. One of my favorite steps of doing makeup is adding blush. I feel like without blush, it's not complete. It gives some color back into your face. It shapes the cheekbones a little bit. Another EMCOSMETICS blush. This is the Heaven's Glow Faded Clementine. Apply this to the apples of my cheeks and I'm bringing this upwards and blending it with my bronzer. I really like how this blush also gives a glow to my skin. I'll even sweep a little of that onto the temples. And honestly, even a little bit on the nose, just pat a little bit of there. Even though this blush is giving such a beautiful glow, if you're like me who loves To look extra glowy, just use your favorite highlighter. Mine is the LAURAMERCIER Matte Radiance Baked Powder. I cannot emphasize how good this highlighter is. It's the most natural looking highlight that I've ever used. It does not emphasize the texture of my skin. I use this all the time. I'm actually going to use my finger and I'm going to apply this to the center of my eye. And this is just going to bring out my eyes, make it a little bit bigger. The inner corners. On days where I'm feeling a little extra and I got time, line my lips with the e.l.f. Love Triangle Lip Filler Liner. This is in the shade Light Brown. I'm not a person that overlines my lips because I feel like it looks weird on me. My lips aren't huge, but they're pretty full. I'm using this ETUDE and it's their fixing tint in the shade Rose Latte. This has been my go-to lip product lately that gives my lip a bit of a color and it dries down this very, very, very soft matte and it doesn't make your skin feel dry at all. I almost forgot the bottom lashes. I am one of those girlies who likes to apply mascara on the bottom lashes. I feel like it just opens my eye up even more, makes it a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is the complete final look, the results. I hope you guys find this video very helpful. I'm kind of thinking of doing another video like this, but all drugstore makeup instead. It's using products that are very, very affordable. Let me know if that's something you might want to see. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to my channel. And feel free to check out my Instagram and TikTok. But thanks for watching and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!